Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahmed Shah, and once again with a new lecture about phrasal verbs. In the previous lecture, we talked about what phrasal verbs are, what phrasal verbs are made of, and what do they mean. And today we are going to talk about a little more about phrasal verbs. So the problem with phrasal verbs is that there is no fix. Most of the phrasal verbs do not have one meaning. Like sometimes they may have 2, 3, 4 or even more than 4 meaning at the same time. But what does it depend upon? It depends upon the context that they have been used. These phrasal verbs have been used. So let's see phrasal verbs having different meanings. Make up. This is one. What is it? This is phrasal verb. How? This is verb and this is an adverb. So together they make a phrasal verb. So what does this makeup means? So let's see. Makeup may mean to make your face, like people decorate themselves. To make your face, like related to cosmetics, okay? And it can be also makeup to make your mind. I am making my mind to accept the proposal. Okay? This is how. And make up to make a story. To lie to somebody. Why are you making a story all the time? So you lie most of the time. You come up with your own stories. Fake stories. And it can be to make up after arguments. But if you had enough fight with your friend and now you want to say that I am making up with my friend after having a fight, after having arguments, okay, like becoming friends once again. And it may also mean to make up a sentence. I'm going to make up a sentence for my friend, for my teacher. So you see, like this is one phrasal verb and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it has 5 meanings. For example, turn down. Turn down the radio. Turn down the radio means reduce the volume. Reduce the volume, and it also may mean like refuse. To refuse. I turned down his proposal. I said no. Do you understand? This is how these phrasal verbs are tricky. They may mean different in different sentences. So there is no fixed meaning of these phrasal verbs. So do not bother yourself by cramming one meaning for these phrasal verbs. Try to understand. Try to make meaning of the phrasal verbs in particular sentences they have been used. Okay. So don't waste your time. Like main verbs, phrasal verbs are also transitive and intransitive. You may know what transitive and intransitive verbs are. If you don't know, we will talk about it when we will be talking about types of transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. But you may get an idea from here as well. Transitive verbs. Transitive phrasal verbs. For example, this is he took off his tie. Like this is what is it? Took off. What is it? Phrasal verb. But what if we do not put this part? He took off. Took off what? It's not clear. It does not make sense. The sense is not complete. So it needs an object. What? It needs a thing, a noun to complete its meaning. Okay? What does he take off? His tie. Okay? So what does it have? Like this is how it works. Like a verb, a phrasal verb which needs an object to complete its meaning is called transitive phrasal verb. I hope you got it. Let's check the second sentence. You need to fill out. What is it? Fill out. Fill out. But, fill out what? I need an object. And this is the object of this sentence. You need to fill out this form. Otherwise, without this part of the sentence, this sentence will not be complete. And this phrasal verb would not make sense without this object. So it needs an object. It needs this object to complete its sense. That's why we also call it transitive verb. Like transfers. The action is being transferred. Like keep this in your mind. Transitive, transferring. Transferring. I hit the board. Like this is me. I am hitting. And what is there is verb hitting. And what is receiving the punch? The board. Okay. What is this? I am the subject. And hit is the verb and this is the object because it receives, and the verb hit is transitive because it transfers from me to this board. This is how keep it in your mind, like transitive. I hope you got it. So I am looking for, but what are you looking for? What am I looking for? I am looking for my passport. Okay, so without this passport, this phrasal verb does not make sense. Okay, this is how we can understand it, transitive verbs are the verbs which need an object, direct object to complete its meaning. I hope you got the idea. Okay, let's move on. And intransitive phrasal verbs. Intransitive phrasal verbs are phrasal verbs which do not need direct objects to complete their meanings. So let's see and find how do they work. He woke up. He woke up. This is phrasal verb. But does it make sense? Yes. Does it need an object? Do we have an object here? No. He woke up at 10 o'clock. It does not need an object to complete its meaning. That is why we say, and the action is not being transferred either. Okay, so he woke up at 10 a.m. Okay, so the action is not being transferred and it does not need a direct object to complete its meaning. That's why we call it intransitive phrasal verb. This woke and up. I hope you got it. And the plane took off at 10 p.m. What? Took off. So the plane took off at, and here once again it does not need an object to complete its meaning. And this is the third sentence, and he took off his hat. And he took off his hat. And look at, there's a problem. This is took off here, and this is took off here as well. Like both phrasal verbs are same. Here, it does not need a direct object to complete its meaning, and here it needs. This is the problem. And to solve this problem, the problem is because there are few phrasal verbs which may be transitive in one case and intransitive in some other case. So, you see, this can happen as well. Every transitive verb, there is no fixed definition of this is transitive and this is intransitive. It depends on the context that they have been used or the way they have been used in the sentences. I hope you got it. Okay, let's move on towards this part. Noun as objects. What if you have nouns as objects in your sentences? How are you going to use, where are you going to put them in the sentences? This is the question, okay? And this here is the answer for that question. Look, this is the sentence number 1. I am looking for what? My glasses. What is it? This is noun. Okay? And where do we put the noun? Mostly, okay? Mostly we use it at the end of the sentence. Mostly. Okay, and the mob burned down the embassy. Okay, what is it? Once again, noun. And where is it? At the end of the sentence. And check this one. Ali took off his coat. And this is took off, and coat is also a noun. So where do we put this noun? If it has been used in object in the sentence, at the end. But sometimes it can be right after the verb as well. Sometimes, okay? Pronoun as an object. You may have pronoun as an object. Okay, for example, here sometimes at the end. But most of the time you have to put, pronoun right after the verb, between the two parts, right after the verb. Okay, I am looking for them. This is where it can be at the end sometimes, but mostly right after this is verb, this is verb, and right after verb we have used this it, which is a pronoun. Okay, so this is how we use pronoun used in a sentence as object in sentences having phrasal verbs. Look at this sentence now. He took it off. He took it off. You cannot say he took off it. That will be wrong. That will be incorrect. I hope you got this idea as well. Pronouns can be used at the end sometimes, but most of the time, they come right after the main verb. The verb after verb in the sentence. Okay? Between two parts of the phrasal verbs. I hope there is no problem with this anymore. Now, separable. There are few phrasal verbs which can be separated, which can be cut into two halves. And please turn off the TV. This is please turn off. This is turn off. What is it? This is phrasal verb. But when can we split it into two halves? Let's see. Please turn the TV off. Half of it is here and half of it is here. So this one is correct. We can separate it. Okay? And look at this one. I will look after your son when you are out. I will take care of him. Look after, okay? Taking care of somebody. But can we separate it? Let's try to do this. I will look your son up after. Does it make sense? No. It is not correct. Here we could split it, but here we can not. But what is the rule for separating or not separating the phrasal verbs? There is no particular rule. There is no particular rule the way we do not have particular rule for prepositions, okay? So there you have to understand it, you have to frame it, or by studying more and more, listening more and more, and reading more and more, you will get this idea. Otherwise, there is no particular rule for the separation of these phrasal verbs into halves. I hope you got it. So let's check these sentences now, and you're going to tell me which one is correct and which one is not. Let's see. I throw away it. I throw away it. Like I throw away it. Is it correct? Is it? It sounds good, but it is not correct. I throw it away. Why? Because I told you there. Like this it must be like in the middle, right after the verb in the sentence. So let's check this sentence as well. I took it off. I took it off. It is, the pronoun is where it needs to be. So this is correct and this one is wrong. Why? Because this it is right at the end. I took off it. Okay. So let's take the next sentence. He took off his shirt. He took off his shirt, and this took off is also a phrasal verb. So let's see, and this is correct. And let's see the second. He took his shirt off. Is it correct? Think about it. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. It can be separated. This phrasal verb can be separated. There are few phrasal verbs which can be separated. There are few which cannot be separated. But what is the rule? There is no rule for separation of these phrasal verbs. So this is what is about the phrasal verbs. I hope you have no problem. And this is your homework. The homework is that you have to find 20 separable phrasal verbs, and then you have to use those phrasal verbs in your sentences, and you have to write the whole lecture on your neat copies and send me on this number so I may check it for you. See you in the next lecture. Bye for now.